All right, we're back here on Sportsline. Big day today as the Titans trade Dorial Green-Beckham to the Eagles, get Dennis Kelly back in return. And it has been an interesting day, from Twitter this morning to listening to fans on Sports Talk Radio, this show tonight as well. It seems pretty split. There's definitely a group that thinks this was the right move and helping the team or making the team better today. And then there's a lot of people who think that the Titans gave up way too soon on a guy that they drafted 40th overall last year and has the size and skill set to potentially one day, if he can live up to that potential, be one of the better wide receivers in the National Football League. Let's go to Ricky, who was kind enough to wait through the break. Ricky, good evening.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Okay, the trade they made today, I think it's a pretty good trade. I don't have no problem with it, but my problem is that they need to work on the defense. They need some bookends. If they get some defensive ends so they can shorten the field on that the Titans got to drive up and down the field, I think they're going to score points. But they need to cut the field down a little bit. And if they get some bookends, I think the Titans can go back to playing smash mouth football, and they have a good defense. But they got to get rid of Morgan and get somebody on the end that can get in there and get those quarterbacks.
Well, Ricky, that's an interesting point. I think the Titans are hoping Morgan is one of those bookends. Playing in that 3-4, they're hoping that Derek Morgan and Brian Orakpo are going to be the guys that can carry this team and pressure quarterbacks and help this defense be a real dominant force. And the other thing is, a big part of the reason they've spent so much money and time working on the offense this year is that was the weakness last year. It was basically Marcus Mariota and Delanie Walker doing whatever they could do without a running game and without reliable receivers to make plays. They struggled to put up points. They struggled to be a balanced offense last year. The side of the ball that kept them in the game last year was the defense. That defense for the first half of the season was a top 7-8 defense in the league. It ended up, I think, 13th for the season last year, but they flirted with being a top 10 team all year on defense. Now Dick LeBeau fully takes over. They've added more depth there. Morgan is back healthy. And that's the other thing. When they started to dip, it's the guy you're criticizing, Derek Morgan, went out with an injury. Now he's back healthy. Orakpo is healthy. You've got other guys that fit around him. I think the Titans are hoping that they've got those scary bookends and that those linebackers can make a lot of plays for them, that you've got a Pro Bowler in Jarrell Casey up front, a lot of big guys that take up space in front of them to allow those linebackers to make plays. And now you've got some of that depth that we talked about in the secondary. It was not a good night the other night for the Titans defensively. They struggled again early on, which has been a weird problem for this team over the past couple of years. Just very slow starts defensively, particularly on the opening drive. So that to me was a bit alarming, perhaps the most alarming thing that I saw the other night. But also, they made some plays. They turned the Chargers over at times, and they showed a level of depth defensively that I don't think we've seen for a while. That's going to be a challenge moving forward, is for that defense to continue to play the way they have, but also for that offense now to step up and do what they can do, to step up and take it to another level and score some more points. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we will hear from Titans general manager Jon Robinson on the move today, the decision to trade Dorial Green-Beckham. Back with more after this. This is Sportsline on News Channel 5+.